Welcome to Gutter Trash episode 231. Todd, the ugliest kid on earth, right?
That's
okay.
right.
My name is Eric.
I'm Jason.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
There was a lot of discussion in the previous episode over whether you would, not only if you would return, but if you would be allowed to return.
Oh?
Yeah.
Like by the authorities? Or?
By the authorities of myself and Mr. Matt Brassfield.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the Canadian border police.
It was even possible that was going to be a thing.
I had no contraband on my person or in my vehicle.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Well, ooh.
We'll have to get back to that later.
Okay, all right.
So yeah. How are you guys? I haven't heard yet, but you guys did a little, little sort of like a podcast, sort of
like a podcast. Yeah, it was what I thought was going to be the start of a new beginning for Gutter Trash.
Yeah,
you fled the country like the hippie coward that you are, and you left me in the lurch, and I had to think of something new. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, I guess I'll just have rotating guest hosts.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and so my first guest host was was Matt Brassfield. My second was going to be Brian John Mitchell, but then no, you had to send me a message with your pick for this episode. So we took a vote and we decided that I should give you at least one more chance.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like that 2 strikes rule, or
right? Yeah.
Okay.
So you're here on a probationary basis.
Well, I am leaving next month for a week, or a few days. So that might be it.
But are you leaving the country?
No.
As long as you're within these United States of America.
Just the continental?
The continental states.
Okay.
The lower 48. Then
we're good?
We're not good. But we're better.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we work through it. We're like a couple that, I'm not sure which one of us is the batterer and which one's the battery, but yeah, we work through it.
I think we're both equally battering each other.
Yeah, we do all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I missed Ohio.
Did you?
No. It just seemed like something nice to say. I missed my cat because falling asleep at night by myself, I'm not used to that.
Right.
I usually have my cat there. I'm talking about Goo, not my girlfriend whose nickname is Cat. Because she's usually we don't live in the same place. So. But I didn't have
no matter where you sleep, you usually have a cat with you.
I do. Yeah, that's true. Always, actually.
Yeah.
Except for in Canada.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll never go to Canada again.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to welcome all the listeners to the first episode of Motorboat Season.
Yeah, that's right. It's motorboat time. I don't know. Can you hear it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Or at least feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Deep within the bassy bowels of this audio program.
Audio bowels.
Bassy audio bowels.
Wow. Count Basie's audio bowels.
So,
hey.
Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. As loath as I am to admit it, I'm glad to have you back.
Aw, shucks. That's very sweet of you. I did read comics while I was out of town.
Did you?
I read the one that we're reviewing.
Todd, the Ugliest Kid on Earth?
I did.
I read those today.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
I mean, eventually.
Right.
No need to start now.
No need to.
No. but I guess we could.
We probably should just go ahead and start talking about it.
Had you ever heard of any of these fellas that did this book here?
For some reason, the name M.K. Perker, is that the name of the artist?
Perker, yeah, Perker. With an E, Perker.
M.K. Perker, yeah. That name sounds familiar to me, but I don't know from where. So,
yeah, I didn't recognize.
Yeah, and then I have not heard of Ken Christensen. Christensen? God damn it, we are terrible.
At least we read it.
Christensen. There we go. I hope it's pronounced that way. Yes, at least we read it.
Mm-hmm.
So this book has gotten a lot of critical acclaim that I have seen.
Really?
On the interwebs.
I knew it was in second printing, so I assumed somebody
Which,
liked it.
let's bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
Never bring a second printing to my house. That is filthy, awful stuff. I read first printings and first printings only.
That's right. You like them graded, too. You like
I
to
do.
Pop them out of the case and read your first printing.
I carefully unpop them.
Yeah, well, carefully.
Yeah, and then I put them back when I'm done.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing you do with graded comics. No, just kidding. Yeah, so this has gotten some acclaim, and our pal Joe G reviewed the first issue for the website that he apparently reviews comics for.
Really? I didn't know that.
Seemed to really love it.
Really?
And he even recommended that I should read this book back when he reviewed the first issue.
Huh. Where does he review them at? Because I'd like to read some of those reviews.
I believe the website is called nerdspan.com or something like that.
Okay.
Or maybe it's nerdspan.blogspot.tumblr.twitter.facebook.net.com
okay.
/ Amazon.
I'll remember that. That's an easy one to remember.
It's called Nerdspan. That's pretty much all I know about it right off the top of my head. But yes, he at least once a week has a review or two up there.
Yeah, and he's talked about it for a while. I didn't know he did this one though.
Yeah.
Well, then this is redundant. The world already knows about this.
Well, of course the world already knows about it, but the world doesn't know our thoughts about it.
Oh, well, that is important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Because, I don't get it.
You don't get the hoopla? Or the actual comic?
Yeah, the hoopla.
Yeah. It's,
was not terribly thrilled with reading this comic.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty solid okay. like, at no time was I like, dear God, I have to read one more issue or two more issues of this.
Right.
But at no time was I like, holy shit, yes, I get to read more of Todd.
Right.
Especially since, like, I read like one a night while I was in Canada, and every day in Canada, I bought like 500 comics that I was super excited to read.
Right.
And like when I go to bed at night, like, I gotta make sure I read Todd before I read, all these other things that I've been looking forward to for months.
You should have read those first and Todd last.
Well, I did
to keep your brain fresh.
Well, I did though, but I mean, there were so many of them. Like, I'd read like a dozen comics a day, and like right before I go to bed, they were like, I could read one more of these that I'm really excited to read, or I could read another issue of this book that's okay. It's like I don't dislike it, but it was a little hard for me to make myself read them every night.
Well, I didn't have that problem as I guess maybe I did, because I did just get my comic shipment in on Friday, so I've got my whole new month's batch of books.
Right.
But I forsook those and read this instead. But it's not like I was clamoring to read anything else.
Right.
But I was also not clamoring to continue on with this. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny. There's some funny parts.
Kinda.
But yeah, but it's all kind of like it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm really surprised that it got that sort of buzz about it.
Yeah.
Like, and I swear I don't mean that to sound too insulting, because I enjoyed it. I really did, but I didn't love it.
Right.
I just enjoyed it.
I didn't much enjoy it. I didn't hate it by any, stretch of the imagination. I just, I don't know that I would ever recommend this book to anyone.
I mean, like, maybe if I knew somebody who's really into... I mean, because it's kind of got, like, I don't know, like a raunchy kids humor. Like, because there's nothing, like, super gratuitous. I mean, there's, like, sex and there's violence.
Swearing.
But, I mean, it's not, like...
But it's all off-panel or hidden or...
Well,
except for swearing.
It's in the shadows, like the sex or whatever. It's not, like, porn or filth or anything, but it's, like, it's got kind of a dirty...
Okay, do you think if we were 13 years old, we would have loved this?
I would have loved this when I was 13, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it's aimed for, maybe.
Maybe they're trying to get kids to read comics again. Because kids, like, when their parents go to the store and, like, they're like, I gotta buy some comics for kids, they come home with, like, cartoon versions of Green Lantern or something.
Right.
And the kids are like, this is fucking boring.
Right.
And this would be perfect for those kids, probably.
Right. Well, yes, no, not the way you're saying it, though. I think this is one of those things that like a kid would buy if his parents didn't know he was buying it.
Oh, yeah. I'm certain the parents wouldn't buy it for them. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they just had no idea. Like, because sometimes I'll have, like, a dad come up to the register with his son and they've got something like, crossed or stitches or something.
Right.
Or stitched or whatever. What's the werewolf one called? Stitched?
I have no idea.
But, Ferals is the werewolf one. Stitches or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Stitched is the war comic.
Okay.
Or horror war comic.
Every once in a while someone comes
Basically, you're talking about any Garth Ennis comic. Is what you're talking about.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, sometimes, you're like...
Except I don't think Ferals is a Garth Ennis comic.
It's just that company, that Avatar.
Right,
yeah, I don't think it's... It might be David Lapham? I don't know.
That sounds like it's familiar.
Maybe. But, yeah, I mean, those kids would like this because it's foul and it's not overly... I mean, it gets a little complex because there's a lot of characters, but it's not a complex story. It's just there's a lot going on.
Right.
Which has some of the problems in that is there's a lot of characters that you're like, oh, okay, there's this blind guy that runs the store named Mr. Finger, and...
Okay, well, here's a big problem, I think. Is that in the beginning, like, the inside front cover of every issue has, like, a list of the cast of characters.
Right.
And they're all given, like, little short bios, and yet when they actually show up in the comic, they're in it for maybe a panel.
Yeah.
So it's like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Why did I...
I read all those bios, too.
Yeah, exactly. Why did I read those bios for, Mr. Finger, or for, like, the actresses' assistants?
Right. Some of them I think they just wrote to be funny.
Well, that's fine, but, it overall, I think, hurt the story and the flow of the story.
Right. Because you're expecting more. And
right.
But yeah, like some of the, like, what was the deal with the pet shop owner? He's a blind guy, and Todd, the main character, goes in there and buys butterflies or bugs or something.
Right, yeah.
And then, and like, I just remember the pet shop owner, like, makes a phone call at the end. He's he's on his way or something. You're like, oh, this is part of some, big mystery or something. But it never really, like, did he, like, alert the bullies that Todd was walking away? Or?
That is that in the...
I think it was in the second one.
No, it was in the first.
Was it? Okay.
Because he's free in the...
Oh, yeah, he's already in prison in the second one. Spoiler. Todd goes to prison.
I just saw on the first page with Mr. Finger or whatever. I'm sorry.
Well, he's looking at the actual comic.
Yes, I am. Who knows? I guess the bully?
Yeah, because, I mean, the next time you see Todd, the bully, like, comes up to him and, like, lassos him to torture him or something.
Right.
It's like, why would the pet shop guy do that? I don't know. Like,
right, yeah. That's dumb. Alright. Well, now that I'm thinking more about this book, I'm liking it less.
Like it less. You know what it kind of reminds me of is like something from Mad or Cracked that's like just okay. Like the art's good. Like I think the artist like does really good with facial features and expressions and like, yeah, I mean, it's like one of those kind of lame, mad things that you read anyway, and you're like, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, at least.
I didn't find this very funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I had a couple of chuckles, but I don't know.
I mean, I've laughed out more at like Deadpool comics.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I just I could see where it was supposed to be funny, but you know, I never laughed and never even inner chuckled or anything like that while reading it. You know, I don't know, like just everything about this comic, well, almost everything about this comic just sort of left me feeling flat.
Yeah.
I mean, I will agree with you. The art is nice.
Yeah, he's really good.
But like even then, like I wasn't like blown away by the art.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. But okay, it's about this kid named Todd. He's apparently really ugly. We don't know. We don't see his face.
Right.
And his misadventures.
Yeah. He's got a not great family life.
Right.
Not abusive by any means, but
maybe neglectful.
Neglectful, and I guess maybe kind of abusive. And
they make him wear that bag on his head.
They make him wear a bag over his head, yeah. We never see him without the bag. But, you know, his parents are far more self-involved than they are interested in raising a kid.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And there's the whole storyline about there's a killer on the loose.
Right.
Killing kids, I guess.
Yep.
And
killing children.
And I guess apparently Todd gets mistaken for the killer.
Yeah.
And locked up.
Due to just, you know, some misunderstandings and stretched to the limit coincidences.
Yeah.
You know?
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know how to continue on with this review. I did not love it at all. Maybe that's on me for listening to Joe G, and because, I mean, that's pretty much the only review that I read.
You know, actually, Joe G is kind of the reason I wanted to read this, because I remember the day the first issue came out.
Yeah.
He was at Mavericks, and he was reading it. I didn't realize it was for a review. I just thought he was like, I heard this was really good, or whatever.
Right.
And he was reading it, and like he kept laughing out loud,
right.
like while he was reading it. Like he was like off, around the corner, like at the desk reading it while we were doing files. And I was like, that must be really funny.
Right.
So he kind of made me want to read it.
Joe has a tendency to laugh at almost anything now.
Well, that's why we keep him around.
I mean,
he makes us happy.
Dumb in that way.
I think
that's not true.
It's a sign of.
I mean, I'm glad he liked it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that apparently every other single comic review and magazine place in the world seemed to have loved it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of has reviews on it.
Nice quotes.
4 stars for almost everyone. Lots of nice quotes. 9 out of 10 stars.
I mean, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's fun.
No, it's supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah,
but
it's fun. It's just not amazing.
I wouldn't even say it's fun.
Really? I mean, there's some funny stuff like, the chief is taking a dump at the dump. Oh, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, that was about the highlight for me. Danny Trejo likes it.
Danny Trejo does like it. Or at least he likes the fact that there's a character based on one of his friends in it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't... I think a lot of the problem was it's just kind of almost incoherent at times. Like, I think the storytelling is lacking, is not very clear.
I can see that. I mean, like, with the problems, like I mentioned earlier with that pet shop guy, it's like, it wasn't just some weird, funny scene. It, like, kind of felt like that was, building up to something or going to tie into something.
Didn't.
And there's a few of those where, there's characters where you're like, okay, this is going to tie into something. And it just feels like, just kind of, there's a lot of unnecessary characters in it.
Right. There's also a thing that I actually kind of hate when it comes to comics.
Oh.
Is
that how it's stapled? I know you don't like...
You are mistaking me for a Mr. Patrick Kane.
Oh, that's right.
Who loathes a staple. No, like, how... I'm trying to find a good example of it. But, basically it'll be like a scene change in the middle of a page.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can't find one right now.
Ha!
Okay, there it is. So, like, page starts, and, like, the top row of panels is at a police station, and then, like, the next page is, or the next 2 rows of panels are, like, in a completely different location, and then the bottom rows of panels are in a third location.
Right.
That, to me, is just sloppy storytelling.
Right.
And that happens a lot throughout this book. I'm a firm believer that if you're changing the scene, you start a new page.
Yeah. How about if like, you know, it's one of those quick jump cut kind of things, and it's supposed to be, you know, like a speedy sort of transition.
It's a difference, and that's also like, are you talking about like 2 simultaneous scenes happening at the same time?
Exactly. Yeah.
There are ways to do that and pull it off successfully, but that is not what anything in this book was trying to do.
I agree. I agree. I was just playing devil's advocate.
I know. I mean, yeah, I've seen that done successfully before, but none of that is what is happening in this book.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think this is, like, in my opinion, it's a solidly mediocre comic.
Yeah.
Like I don't hate anything about it, but I don't love anything about it. And it really does surprise me that it had second printings and, like, huge attention, like,
selling out. And,
I mean, it's just strange. It's just strange.
I mean, is it us?
It must be, right? I mean, we read shitloads of comics, though, and like, you know...
And not just that, but we watch movies and television, I mean, we are...
I feel like we know a good story and comedy and art when we see it, but... Yeah, it surprises me. I don't know. I mean, was there like a... Did it come out at a time when Image Comics where, like, every book was being turned into a movie, so maybe...
It came out like 3 months ago.
Yeah. It's been at least 4 months.
Well, I think the last one just recently came out, didn't
it? Yeah.
Like within weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like 3-4 months old. Right?
So yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't either. So I mean, I'd have to think then that it's us. If everybody in the world loves something, except for us,
we don't get it.
Right.
Yeah. That's possible. We never claimed to be. In fact, we claim to not be geniuses.
No, yeah, we are idiots. We know. We are fully aware that we are dumb.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like I'm almost gonna veer into, like, slag territory here, but I don't want to.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just not living up to the hype that it received, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Not to me, anyway.
Yeah, it's strange.
I mean, the overall plot is fine,
And yeah, I mean, it's, like, ridiculous. And weird.
And it's supposed to be, and I get that.
Right.
I didn't come into this expecting,
a gritty drama.
Right, yeah, Joji told me that this was the funniest thing that he's read in a while, and so I was expecting just funny, wacky. It's about a kid with a bag on his head because he is too ugly to walk around without it.
Right.
I'm not expecting, The Wire or anything like that,
Right. Yeah. I didn't quite get it either.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I clearly had a little more enjoyment out of it, but just a little.
Right, yeah.
I think if the art wouldn't have been so stellar, it would have been much harder to read because
Oh yeah, definitely.
because the art is just. I mean, that guy knows how to
The
draw.
guy is good. I will give him that. But I don't know that I would have called it stellar either. But it is the strongest thing about this book.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it is inconsistent.
Yeah, definitely. Some of it looks like it was like inked differently or something.
Definitely inked differently. I think definitely. I think it was definitely colored differently towards the end as well.
Right.
And it made me almost wonder, I think I was reading the third issue, and I thought, sometimes, it felt like issue to issue, the art, had a drastic change.
Right.
And so it almost made me wonder if, the first issue had been done, years ago, it took them years to make this thing,
right. Huh. Could be.
Just now coming out. Because the art is detailed on top of it.
Yeah.
But it also has, we were talked about, I think, a while back about, I could see why it appeals to you. It has that cartoony but detailed look to it.
Yeah, that's my favorite style.
I just, I don't know, I felt the characters were sometimes drawn even from page to page, just not super consistently.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Except for that bag on his head. That was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good.
That's pretty good,
yeah. Yeah, I don't get it, World. Tell us why it was so amazing.
Right, yeah. It almost makes me want to read because I try not to read reviews, for anything that I'm interested in, because I'm gonna...
I have a theory why.
Okay.
Why it was so well received by these, reviewers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that most of these people only read pretty serious comics.
Mm-hmm.
They probably don't read a lot of weird, funny stuff.
Right.
Like maybe the weirdest, funniest thing they read is I don't know, The Goon or Invincible,
right.
where there's some funny stuff that happens.
I would say that Invincible mostly is a serious comic.
Yeah.
I mean, it has its moments of levity and weirdness, but for the most part, it is a just straight up superhero comic.
Yeah.
The Goon, I give you that.
The Goon's a little funnier.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that a lot of those, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm off, but I have a feeling a lot of those people read mostly, Image, Dark Horse, Marvel, and DC.
You keep saying Image. This is Image.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But usually Image doesn't.
I think Image has a wide variety of books. And
Image
cannot be pinned down to one thing anymore.
I think Image is the most diverse company on the face of the planet. I really do.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do a lot of comedy, though.
I think they do. I would say that a lot of the stuff everything they put out is so different.
Right.
That I think some of it is supposed to be comedy and some of it is not. I would say probably a majority of it is something that is supposed to be serious.
Right.
But it seems to me I felt like some Image books that I see, are definitely supposed to be more lighthearted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
not that this is supposed to be lighthearted either, because it's super dark and twisted.
Right.
But Todd is very positive character.
Well, I think that's what I mean is when Image does something funny, it's usually not this style of funny, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe the style of humor is just a little different than, maybe it was something refreshing to all those reviewers. They're
right.
oh, this is so different.
Well, I was looking at the names of, all the 4-star reviews there on the covers. And these are all from your pretty standard, comic review sites or whatever. Except for the one on issue 4 is, from Fangoria. So, I was thinking, once you started saying that maybe it was a thing that they were sending the reviews out to places that don't normally even review comics.
Right.
That only think of comics as superheroes.
That's possible.
And then,
and they're like, wow, this is different.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know either. Disappointed.
Yeah, disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, not awesome.
Right.
But I've certainly read much worse.
I've definitely read much worse. I know you've not read much worse.
Oh, you're talking about Evelyn?
Yes.
Oh no, I've read worse comics. I just don't usually. I usually pick good stuff for the show, and whenever I don't, I just don't finish it.
Yeah, I've definitely read worse, but definitely also read much better. Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know, seriously. Right.
I would definitely love to hear other people's opinions if you've read the whole series. Like I do kind of want to go back and read some of the reviews, for this book to see if they're getting something that I'm just missing. Entirely.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe we're just like, oh, there's some connection.
Right.
I mean, like this was a 4-issue miniseries that did so well. At the end of the issue 4, it says, "Look for number 5 in September."
Right. Yeah.
Like so. I mean, it's like done well.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently.
No.
But yeah, I don't.
Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to pick up issue 5.
I probably wouldn't either. Yeah, I probably wouldn't either.
All right. Well, we should probably take a break and.
I could wrap these up so I can put them on eBay.
Those second printings are not going to sell.
Oh,
So they are second printings. All right, we'll be back.
all right.
They call it a scene, I call it disaster. Down here the kids growing faster, scared. It's killed a bone, pack of wolves that don't run alone. One on one, they won't look you in the eye, but when the pack's together, it's a battle cry. I saw it, 15 on 1, the crowd dispersed, the king was done. Go! No more! No! Bad town! No more bad town! No! No more! No! Bad town! No more bad town! Yeah. Down there you gotta have a label, just like a cattle in a stable. Knee-jerk reaction, I call violence. Why speak out when you be silent? Down there, out on the dance floor, too much violence, I don't want more. Down there, out on the streets, I can see the air, I can see the heat. No, no more, no, bad town, no more bad town. No, no more, no, bad town, no more bad town. No more bad town. No more, no bad town. No more bad town. No more, no bad town. No more bad town. All right. No, no more bad town. No more bad town. No bad town. No more bad town. No bad town. No more bad town. No more bad town. No more bad town.
Hi, and we're back.
Hello.
What's up?
Hey.
So we read Joe G's review
Yeah, we did.
over the break.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. He liked it.
He liked it for like basically all the same reasons we did.
Yeah.
Like he. I don't know. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, that's the interesting thing about art, though.
It's true.
It's just weird that both of us here, who have pretty different opinions, usually.
Yeah. I mean,
We overlap,
we overlap, definitely.
but our spectrums don't exactly mirror each other.
No, not exactly. Yeah.
So, but it's weird that we both just
Yeah.
Huh.
And we like comedy.
we like comedy.
We
yeah.
like fun.
Mhm.
Like I don't think we. I mean, it's not like there are fans out there who I like superheroes, and I only like superheroes, and this is the only thing I want to read about, and it's all got to be super serious.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we like a wide variety of stories.
Right.
And things, and comics especially, and we're not looking to, you know, just bash something because it's different.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can safely assume that both of us went into this hoping that it would be great.
Yeah, I was looking for something really funny.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, this is going to be kind of fucked up and funny, and
Yeah. I don't know that we've ever reviewed anything that's just been blatantly funny for the show, like comic wise.
have we not?
I don't think
Like
so.
just no comedies.
I mean, like we did that Thing Hulk graphic novel, which is comedic in nature, but
Right.
you know, I mean, it's still just a sci-fi superhero story.
Yeah, maybe we haven't,
I don't think we've read any straight comedies for this.
and we still haven't.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
You know, the writer Brian Michael Bendis has a Tumblr page, and you can just submit a question to him, and he'll answer it. And so, and like I read quite a few of his books, and there are places where the books are humorous.
Right.
You know, there was an issue of All New X-Men, which was pretty damn funny.
Really?
You know? So like I just wrote to him. I was like, I read a lot of your work, and you've got a lot of humor in it, and like even like his creator-owned stuff, like the Jinx, like short stories,
Okay.
compilations that he was doing. Like most of those were just funny stories. So it's like, have you ever thought about doing like a longer, comedic work? Like just like you're approaching it as a comedy from the get-go.
Yeah.
Or, how come there aren't a lot of comedic comic books out there? And he just said there's no market for it.
Huh.
And,
People don't want to laugh.
right, yeah. Because then he pointed out that like years ago he wrote the Wah-Huh comic.
Oh, really?
Marvel. It was like him, Mark Miller, and like two other guys. Like they all just wrote like this. It was like a what the,
Right.
And he said like he was convinced that it was going to be the greatest thing that he ever worked on, and he still thinks it's one of the greatest things he's ever worked on, and it sold like shit.
Huh.
Yeah. So so I look forward to funny in comics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the Keith Giffen Justice League is like one of my favorite runs
Oh,
of
yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Keith Giffin's usually always funny, and his stuff usually doesn't sell well. So,
but here we have this successful and critically acclaimed comic that apparently neither you or I are getting the
we
joke.
just don't get it. Maybe we're too old. We're too old now.
Maybe,
All of a sudden, we don't get your humor, kids. Where's W.C. Fields when you need him?
Right.
Yeah. Now that's funny.
Maybe someone should have hit their head and gotten kicked in the crotch in this comic.
Stop. You're cracking me up. Oh. Yeah, I'm leaning towards we're just stupid.
I mean, we are, but there's got to be something more to it, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just something that we're just not seeing.
I guess.
I don't know.
I know a couple people that shop at my work that buy this and read it and like it. I'll ask them. I'll be like, so, what is it about that book that just gets you?
Yeah.
I'll ask them.
I'm very curious to find other opinions of this book now.
Huh. Well, yeah. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Like I said, we both wanted this to be great, I think.
Yeah. It might just have been one of those things, too, where it has been built up a lot. Because you do see all the quotes all over the covers of all of them, and
Right.
Especially on the second printings, they've had time to add more quotes. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was overhyped for us too.
Oh well.
So what the hell else is going on, buddy?
For me, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just living life, just doing the thing that I do, which is not exciting or worthy of talking about to anyone.
Oh, I'm sure that's
my
not true.
desperate cries for help go ignored by everything.
Oh, sure that's not true.
It's true.
Huh. Well, I've had a really good time. Actually, today me and Doogie were cleaning out the gutters of the trash that was in it at our house.
Wow.
We were living gutter trash for real.
Nice.
He climbed up onto the roof of my mom's house just using his hands and feet.
Well, he's a climber.
He's a climber, yeah. It was impressive, though.
Yeah, I would imagine.
No shoes, like nothing. He just
Well,
climbed.
he's using his toes to grip.
Exactly, yeah. And then I used the ladder to get the garage, because I'm not a monkey. I've evolved to wearing pants and shoes and drinking milk that's been pasteurized.
Well, to be fair, he also has that prehensile beard.
Does that help climb?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like monkeys have a prehensile tail.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. He did sort of.
You can grip things with the beard. And, you know,
He did at one point wrap it around the chimney.
Right, yeah,
To repel himself up, yeah. Yeah.
I've known a few people who just have that ability to just climb shit.
Yeah, it's
You know,
impressive.
It kind of is, yeah. Like, I wouldn't want to if, if I had that ability, but
Right.
I suppose I gotta show off some point.
It's what he does.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Well, it's good that he's also been able to parlay that into a living of some sort.
Exactly, he gets paid to climb around like a crazy monkey man.
And it's weird because I did just mention the other day at work my friend who goes into a dark alley in the middle of downtown like every other Saturday and buys illegal raw milk. Just a weird conversation that came up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I know somebody who does that."
It's apparently becoming a thing. It's like, you know how meth is becoming more prevalent?
Right,
You hear about it on the news a lot? I think the raw milk
Right.
is it's also dragging down teens across America to a raw milk hell.
So what else you been doing other than cleaning?
I went to Canada.
What? I had no idea.
Yeah.
So why the hell did you do that?
I heard that they were instituting a draft. I got my information wrong, but as luck would have it, the Toronto Comic Art Festival was going on while I was up there.
Nice.
So I went ahead and went to that. And, bought a bunch of comics.
Yeah. Now, you've been up there a few times, and I think we talked about it on the last episode you were on.
Mm-hmm.
But you went there alone.
I went there by myself.
Have you been there by yourself before?
Never, ever. Yeah.
How was that for you?
It was alright. Like, I honestly gotta admit, like, Friday I was kind of depressed about not having Kathleen there, because the last 3 years she's went with me. And, like, I was getting anxious, and, like, I was like, man, I might not have a good time, you know, but, but yeah, I mean, once I went to the convention on Saturday, and my mind was just blown by all the mini comics everywhere, you know. Oh, as far as the eye can see, little hand-folded, stapled comics. It's heaven. So, I was alright after that.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it's more fun to share with others, you know.
It's weird because, I got mad at you a couple weeks ago for telling me to, because I mentioned that I was upset that nobody wanted to go see a movie with me. And you're like, just go see a movie alone. And you're just all about pushing the alone thing. And
well, when it comes to movies, that is my favorite way to watch a movie.
I don't want to see a movie in a crowd, but I want to see it with my friends.
Right.
I don't want to see it alone.
See, to me, the best scenario...
If I want to see a movie alone, I can do that anytime here.
See, my best scenario for watching a movie would be like if me and you and Joe and Kathleen all went to a separate theater and watched the same movie, and then we met up afterwards and talked about it. That would be great.
That's awful. I want to be near my friends, despite everything that I have ever said before that.
Well, I mean, because at the movies you don't. I mean, you can't like. It's not like you can talk and like.
No, but it's an experience, and
right.
And certainly I wasn't talking to you in the theater, and if you talked to me, I'd probably punch you.
I'm sure.
Because you don't talk in a theater.
Right.
Don't talk in a theater.
Not a civilized person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like to do things with my friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't. I think especially going to a different city.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
A different faraway city, because I go to a different city every day.
Right. Yeah, you never invited me to go to work with you.
I have, actually.
Does it bring your moron to work day?
Well, I'm already transporting myself there.
No, but years ago I dated a girl who lived in Massachusetts and went to school there, and seriously, at least 20 times in a 2-year span I drove, which is a farther drive than Canada, actually, than Toronto.
Right.
So I drove there by myself. Well, it just seems weird to me that Massachusetts is it's almost twice as far away as Toronto.
No, we live in Ohio. Canada is right above us.
I know, but it's just in my brain, it's like...
There's not even another state above us.
We kind of go through Detroit, Michigan, to get there.
I think you could get there without doing that, though.
Probably. But
Michigan is not right on top of us, though.
No.
It's off to the side.
Right.
Canada, though, is right on top of us.
Yeah. I don't know. It just in my brain though, it's like it's another country. So it seems
it is another country.
Seems like it'd be farther. Well, that's why my brain says that. But so
does it blow your mind that it would take you days to drive to California?
Yeah. Well, exactly. Well, I know. Yeah, that does blow my mind. I'll just say that. No, but I do like long drives, like by myself. It's like a good, chance to listen to music and just chill out or whatever. So that was fun. It was kind of fun. Got to listen to the new Melvins and just enjoy the ride. But yeah, no, it's a fun show. I met Liz Prince.
I don't know who that is.
She does autobiographical mini comics.
Not interested.
They're really cute. And funny and dark. Sometimes they're dark too.
That's what a lot of people said about Todd.
That's true. Well, I can tell you that her comics are about 1,000 times better than Todd Bailey's Killing Me. I met Ivan Brunetti.
He's a guy I've heard of.
And this was cool too because he did the latest album cover for Tomahawk.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did that come about? Of course, because I'm a huge Mike Patton fan. And I was like, how did that come about? And he goes, he's like, a few years ago, Mike Patton bought some original art from me. And he said, he's a fan of my comics, and which doesn't surprise me because his comics are pretty, vile and hilarious. But he said Mike Patton invited him to just come to a show sometime, and for have a free pass, and so he went to see Phantomas, he said. So Ivan Brunetti's at a Phantomas concert, and he said he went backstage after the show, and he said he expected it to be just really debaucherous, but he said they were just sitting around. He said Mike Patton was reading a novel, and because one of the guys from Slayer's in the band, but he's kind of the level-headed one probably.
Yeah, Dave Lombardi.
Yeah. So he said they were all just kind of just chilling out.
Not in Slayer anymore.
Well, is there a Slayer anymore?
That's true as well.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But so I thought that was cool, and he said he just asked him to do a cover for him. So that was cool. Met Art Spiegelman.
Oh yeah.
Best known for Mouse and the Garbage Pail Kids. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
He called me Jason Basin, which is a Garbage Pail Kid.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. But yeah, mostly I just bought a bunch of comics and hung out by myself. I drew a lot. I drew a ton while I was there, which was good.
That's cool.
I watched Paul Pope do a demo on how to ink.
Yeah.
And that was informative. It's weird, he uses the same, like one of the tools he uses is just like the little wooden stick that has a rectangular piece of foam on the end.
Okay.
Like we use those in like my high school art class to glue like paper mache stuff. Like we use them all the time, and like that was one of the things he uses to ink his comics. Yeah, yeah. He said that's one of his favorite things. Like anything that has like a big area of black, he uses those. So I was like, huh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I didn't really do too much while I was there other than buy comics and eat food and draw.
And how did you spend like 6 days there?
It was 4.5 days. And the show was, that was another thing. On Friday night, because the show was just Saturday and Sunday, but Friday night at the library where the convention was, the Hernandez brothers did a talk on their work, and that was awesome. Like they showed slides of like all their like Love and Rocket stuff over the years, and that was really cool. I like that a lot because I've only read a few of the books they've done, mostly not even Love and Rockets. So that was kind of cool. I wasn't too familiar with their stuff, but
I'm also not super familiar with their works.
I bet you would like it more than you know. I don't know. I started to say more than you think, but I don't know. Maybe you think you would like it.
I don't know much about them.
Yeah.
I know that they're stalwarts of indie comics, and Love and Rockets has been going on forever, and they do other stuff too that has been out forever. And
pretty diverse too,
doing new things,
like kids books and adult books. Yeah.
So, but yeah, just it's never sort of. I think the only thing that I've read by either of them was the first issue of Fatima, Blood Spinner.
Right.
Yeah.
It was the Gilbert Hernandez one.
Yeah, and that was enjoyable. Mm-hmm. I've never read anything more than just that.
It's funny because, that is like, I mean, that was like a Guar concert as a comic.
Right, yeah.
And then, like, the latest book that he just put out is like a kid's hardcover.
Isn't it like a semi-autobiography?
Yeah. So he's pretty diverse.
I did pick up the preview of that for Free Comic Day.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
Marble Season. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't read that one. But yeah, I mean that was awesome. And I got a couple sketches for Kathleen since she couldn't make it. Liz Prince, who you've heard of, and Jim Rugg. Yeah. So it was fun. It was.
Get me any sketches?
I got you one from Glenn Dillon.
That is true.
Yeah, Glenn Dillon was there signing we reviewed Now of Brown a while back, and I had him autograph Eric's copy, and he was a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Even feigned remembrance of our podcast.
I've felt that anyone that we approached that was like, hey, we've talked about you, and you might have listened, or we've interviewed you. They said, oh yeah,
you guys,
yeah,
as if they remember.
Like Nate Powell.
Yeah. It's weird. I love Nate Powell, but I kind of hope he doesn't listen to the show because every time we reviewed one of his books,
we don't like it.
We don't love it.
Right. Yeah.
I think we always agree his art's stellar, but we just never have gotten into any of the stories at all. So I kind of hope he doesn't listen because I don't. He doesn't. He's such a nice guy. I don't want to hurt his feelings.
He is a super nice guy. Probably the nicest guy I've ever met at any convention.
Yeah. Maybe the nicest human on the face of the planet.
Could be.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully he does not listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got me that book from Glenn Dillon signed. He also had the CD booklet from the 28 Days Later soundtrack that Glenn Dillon did a comic for.
And which he had never seen, apparently.
Yeah, that movie's 10 years old at this point.
They never gave him a free copy, I guess.
Yeah. And apparently, he ruined his weekend by showing him that.
If the people who produced the soundtrack are listening, he was not impressed with the way you reproduced his artwork. He thought it could have been a little clearer.
Yeah. So that makes me almost wonder then, I know he's he's sort of been out of the comics industry for a while, and then I think he was even sort of out of it when that soundtrack came out.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me wonder then, might I be the only person who have ever bought the 28 Days Later soundtrack?
I bet somebody did, but like you might be the only one who's like looked at the comic and said,
Right.
you know, somebody might have just really loved, I don't know, Granddaddy or whoever. Trying to think if there's any more highlights. That was all. Oh no, I watched. There was on Sunday. There was this thing that was kind of like win, lose or draw, but they had Scott Campbell.
Jay Scott Campbell?
No, Scott.
not interested.
I think he goes by Scott C. So there's no confusion. A guy named Phil, a lady named Lucy Nisley, and Jim Rugg, and they did this thing where the moderator would read a word out of Moby Dick, and they would all have a minute to draw it, and like two at a time. There's only two artists at a time. He would read a word, and like they would have to do a visual representation, and whoever did the best version in a minute, like won. And at the end, they like tallied it all up. It was just super fun though. It wasn't like a cutthroat contest. They were all just having fun. What's that look for?
Dick.
Well,
Why couldn't you just actually play Pictionary or Win, Lose, or Draw with these people?
he said there's a lot of neat words in Moby Dick, and but he wasn't, the guy wasn't a pretentious asshole because he said he could only make it 40 pages into Moby Dick, so it was all out of the first 40 pages. So I thought that was pretty good.
All right.
And Jim Rugg won, by the way.
Huh?
Yeah. Because he's pretty great.
He's pretty good. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That was pretty much it. Just kind of.
So what did you do the rest of the time you were there?
Well, Saturday and Sunday was pretty much all at the show, and then
Right.
and then my friend Chris Hoyam and a couple of his friends met us there, and we like went out and had a couple beers on Saturday and had lunch together. But yeah, like mostly after the show was over. What did I do? I found an art supply store and I stocked up on the pens I like that I can't buy anymore now that McAllister's is closed. Like I can buy them in sets, but I can't buy individuals of the two I buy, or the two I use. Statler pigment liners. Nobody around here sells single ones.
Really? Patterson Chase?
Nope. I've tried it everywhere. I tried United Art.
Yeah.
I mean, they have sets of them, but
Right.
you have to buy like the other three that I don't use along with them. McAllister's used to sell them individually. So I spent like $80 on pens, which was awesome. And then I went to the Big Island and bought some comics there, which, that place is cool. It's tiny, but it's full of awesome comics. And then the other 2 days, like one day was awesome. Like the longest conversation I had with anyone was, like a 5-minute cab ride with a cabbie and asked him how the weather was going to be tomorrow. And that was like, other than that, I just kind of like laid around and read comics and ate food and listened to the radio. It was like the best day of my life. But yeah, that was pretty much my trip.
You had a car. Why didn't you take a cab?
I didn't get in my car one time the entire time I was there because, I mean, there's no place to park anywhere there. It's like, I mean, it's just like Chicago. There's like, and if you do find a place to park, it's super expensive.
Right.
I did have.
So you were in Toronto and you did nothing in Toronto.
I went to
Except for go to the
TCAF
show.
in Big Island.
Yeah.
What else would you do?
I'm sure there's other stuff to do.
Well, I looked to see if there's any concerts going on, and Motley Crue was playing on Friday and Saturday night. But I looked and it was like $80. So I was like, nah.
You spent $80 on pens.
I would rather have a stack of pens than to hear McMars shred his axe. No, but I'm not.
I mean, you came back Wednesday.
Yeah.
The show was over on Sunday.
Right? Yeah.
So you did nothing Monday and Tuesday.
Oh no, I walked around the city.
Okay.
I ate at restaurants. I went to some used bookstores, comic shops. I went into some, like there was a framing store that had like all these comic book covers framed, but like it was weird. They like shellacked them. I think they were like color printouts, and they like shellacked them on wood, and they were really neat. I mean, I just kind of walked around and looked in. I mean, when me and Kathleen went, we went to the museum. I went to Second City, and we did some of the like attractions and sightseeings. But I mean, I just wanted to kind of relax and just take it easy. So that's all I did. But earlier in the show, I mentioned contraband.
Yes.
On the way back in to the States, I had a pretty easy time going into the country. It was like the easiest time I've ever had. Like I pulled right up to the.
You only got fisted once.
Just the one time, yeah. And it was by a lady, and it was like, this is all right.
Yeah. Small fist.
Yeah. It was a lady on the way in, and she just asked me a couple of questions, like if I'd ever been arrested and if I was, a terrorist. And
right.
I was like, nope. And so she's like,
who's going to say yes to that question?
A terrorist would. I mean, if they've been taught not to lie by their parents. But yeah, I mean, that was the smoothest, easiest time I've ever had getting into Canada. And then on the way back, like I got to the line, I was waiting there, and I looked up at the sign that said, please check all like plants, meats, and fruits. And I
you had to hide all your steaks.
I hid them in my pants.
Your Canadian bacon.
And by that you mean my DVD copy of the John Candy movie. No, but I looked over and I had this snack bag sitting there on the seat, and it had like some vegetarian beef jerky, and like I think there was an apple, and the story goes down to there was an apple, and I was like, when I pulled up to the guy, I was like, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I've got an apple. And he was like, I see that. And and he's like, is there a sticker on it saying where it's from? And I was like, I picked it up and looked at it. I was like, no, I already washed it because I was going to eat it in the car. And he was like, oh, well, other than that apple, do you have anything that might be considered, And I was like, I got the feeling that he was kind of making fun of me a little bit. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, what the fucking sign says, if you have any fruit, report it. And I was like, I'm just being a good citizen here. But I didn't say any of that. I just, he's like, we're supposed to, confiscate any fruit. But he's like, you go ahead and eat that apple. I was like, all right, I will. So I ate the apple after I got
in front of him.
No, after I was down the road a little bit.
It'd been kind of funny if he'd forced you to eat that apple right then.
Yeah, seeds and all, stem too. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, that was basically it.
Right.
That was the trip. Yeah. So sorry I wasn't here for the last episode.
Should be.
I want to listen to it though, the Brassfield one.
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess.
Was he fun to have?
Oh, it was fun. Yeah, it was a good time. I'm sure the listener to that episode will get I'm not bad mouthing him when I say this, but Matt Brassfield likes to talk.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he's a talker.
He is a talker. I mean, that wasn't a 2.5 hour episode for nothing. Wow, he knows how to chat. May have been the quietest I've ever been in a Gutter Trash episode.
Really,
other than today.
Or you just drowned out by the motorboat today. Man, something's in my throat. I don't know what that was. I felt like I was dying.
Well, I'm glad you're not. But no, yeah,
I think
fun.
I think the anxiety triggered by my story of trying to smuggle that apple through the border. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I like Matt Brassfield.
Matt Brassfield's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. We watched a dumb movie.
Mm-hmm.
How much better can you get?
Yeah. Well, speaking of that,
ooh,
that's what I hope we do next week.
Okay.
I forget what it was, but I was at Mavericks a few weeks ago, and a customer was asking for he was like, I'm looking for this specific, like Avengers trade paperback or something. And he's like, I can't remember the name of it. And we were trying to Google it, like Google Image, and see if we could find the one. He remembered what was on the cover. And I, for the life of me, can't remember what we Googled, but one of the images that came up was a picture of Sean Connery in like some sort of weird S&M loincloth. And then and then a bunch of Avengers stuff. And we were like, what the fuck is that?
I know exactly what you're saying. And yes.
And so after the customer left, we were like, let's go back to that Google search and figure out what sort of magic we just stumbled on. And I couldn't believe that I had never heard of the film Zardoz, which is what I'm hoping to watch next week for Gutter Trash.
Oh, yeah. That's in my Netflix queue.
Yeah. You're familiar with this film.
I am very. Oh, I'm not. I mean, I've never seen it.
Oh, good.
But I have heard of it. I've seen said picture of Sean Connery.
Yeah.
I know that it is apparently just bizarre and weird and hopefully wonderfully terribly.
I hope so. It looks like it's going to be terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But I hope it's that kind of terrible.
Oh, yeah. I hope so as well. So, yeah. I'm down with Zardoz.
I've never even heard of it.
Really?
Yeah, never heard of it until a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. It's the picture of him wearing like the red bikini with the thigh high boots and bandolier.
It's kind of like a Vampirella outfit.
Kind of, yeah. But for a very hairy Scotsman.
Yeah. Yeah. And how can you go wrong?
You really can't. Hopefully you can't.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little like I was pretty sure the comic today we were both gonna like, so I'm a little on edge about this one now.
Well, that's true. Yeah. But again, I would have read Todd whether you picked it or not eventually.
Yeah.
I would have seen Zardoz whether or not you picked it eventually. So
you don't hold it against me.
I do not. No.
Awesome. Well, yeah.
All right.
That sounds great.
Looking forward to that then.
Anything else we should? Anything else going on we should talk about? I don't know.
I mean, I don't do anything with my life, so nothing's happened.
We went on an adventure today.
Yeah, we went on a small adventure. I don't know if that's worth talking about.
Well, we went for breakfast. 5
p.m.
5 p.m. as one does. And after that, you were like, let's just turn the wrong way on the way home.
Yeah.
And you did, and then you made a couple other wrong turns on purpose.
On purpose, yeah.
And then we found
not too far to get lost or anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is like within a mile of where I work.
Right, yeah.
And but yeah, you got us into a little cemetery that we didn't know existed.
Yep.
It's like back in a neighborhood.
Sort of.
It's like not even on a main street.
Yeah. It was weird because I'd never been down that road before. It's behind a Bob Evans. And as we were walking into the Bob Evans, where we ate our breakfast dinner, there was what could be a bar behind it.
Yeah, we're not sure what it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. And so I decided, let's explore that. Let's see what that is if we can. And there's still no answers. But I just kept driving down this road, and there was like all these businesses I didn't even know was there, and then other buildings, and city, contractors and stuff like that.
Tool and die shops. And
right,
stuff.
Yeah. And then this one road called Cemetery Lane. And who's not going to turn down that road?
Yeah, right.
And hey, there's a cemetery there.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, it was bizarre.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of this little neighborhood.
Yep.
Huh. And we saw what may have been the ghost of a dead cyclist.
Yeah.
Biking around endlessly in the cemetery.
Yeah. I mean, we got out of the way of each other.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't astrally.
I didn't want to take the chance that he wasn't a ghost.
Oh, can you imagine if he would have passed right through the car and swiveled his head and stared at you as he went by our seats? That'd have been creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
But luckily, I didn't have it.
No. Yeah, that was a thing we did.
Yeah, we drove through a cemetery. We're goth as fuck. In the daytime, we hang out at cemeteries. That's what kind of dudes we are.
Yep.
I think, were we listening to something pretty gothy? It was Weird Al.
It was Weird Al. Yeah.
It's pretty gothy.
May have been Clutch. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in the same mix. I think Hank 3 was on there, too.
Yeah, he was in there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, some pretty gothy tunes all around. So, lots of good times.
Good times.
Maybe next time we go to Bob Evans, we should at least take a little circle through there and see if the ghost is on the bike.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah. Just to make sure. Because my theory, as I told you when we were leaving the cemetery, is that he was hit by a truck and they, assumed he was dead and they put him in a coffin and he awoke and, he was still alive and he had to suffocate in the cemetery.
Right.
And now his ghost perpetually circles around on his bicycle there.
Right.
I think it's as good a theory as any.
Sound to me.
Yeah. So,
all right.
So Zardoz?
Zardoz.
Is that how you pronounce it, I'm guessing?
I think so.
Yeah.
Kind of wish I had it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just go watch it.
I'd be down if we had it now. We could go see if GameSwap has it.
Oh, yeah. If they don't have that, we can go watch Galaxis. I
Galaxis.
think that's the sci-fi movie starring Jesse Ventura.
Oh, wow. When was that made?
80s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe a good double feature.
All right, then. Well, welcome back.
Well, thank you.
I guess I'll allow you to come back next week as well.
Sweet. I behaved myself?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you picked a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all that matters.
All right, then. Well, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Go watch Zardoz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.